Well, hello, everyone. Alejandro J. Tornato here. And I am so delighted because we are on a brand new session of the revived Conversations with Influence 2.0. And my goodness, that everyone, included me, we are all for a good and excellent treat tonight. Because as you can see, I mean, I'm having uh, my dear friend and also a member of the Connected Leaders Academy, Mirsada Memic, with us. And I am so thrilled, that I am so excited, because when I get to do this with someone that I have not really interacted a lot and I don't know a lot, I am triple excited because I am going to be finding out great things. Because I mean, there is no doubt in my mind that Mirsada is going to be sharing great insights. And I think that, I mean, her story is just going to be a powerful story and to share with all of you. So without rambling too much, I mean, I just want to welcome you. I mean, it's so great that you are, and you accepted the challenge of being in Conversation with Influencers 2.0. So how are you doing today?
Hi, Alejandro. I'm doing so amazing today. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. It has always been my passion to speak and to heal and change lives.
Oh my goodness! You see, we started. We. I mean, if you were watching right now live, or you are going to get the replay later on, then I would suggest that you get a pen and you get a pad of paper, and you start taking notes, because this is going to be a note taking kind of a session. Now, you know, I'm just going to go right off the bat, and I'm not going to start asking you questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass that invisible microphone to you, and I'm just going to say, just take a few moments to
Mhm.
tell me and tell the audience, who is Mirsada Memic?
Yes.
And the floor is yours. Just tell us, and then we just get into a discussion.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here. My name is Mirsada Memic. Originally, I'm from Bosnia. I'm a mommy of two girls. I'm also a life mindset, love attraction, and self love coach, and a motivational keynote speaker. A little bit about me: I came from a war background, and we went through a lot of pain and trials and tribulations. And after going through all the pain and trials, it made me a better person. It made me the person I am today because I have healed and processed and pains and traumas. And it's my passion with what I'm doing. It is something that gives me the excitement, the joy every day to wake up, to be a leader, to show up for my audience, to give them hope. And one of the things that I'm doing right now is, as a law of attraction self-love mindset coach, I teach people the power of their subconscious mind, how to use the law of attraction and how to heal and process emotions and pains and trauma. It is something that started for me in 2012. I went through a whole spiritual awakening journey after all the pain and challenges. I lost my grandfather, who was very close to me, and he was somebody who believed in me, who believed my dreams, who told me to go after everything, to never give up, just put the faith in God and take the inspired action and just do it. And during the wartime, like, I always get emotional, so forgive me. During the wartime, he saved my life. When mothers couldn't carry their children no longer, when we went through all that, we lost our home. We were forced out of our home to leave, to, you know, we were forced out of our home to leave and survive without food, without water, without shelter. And it's a painful experience. But my grandfather saved me. He saved my life. When mothers couldn't carry their children, he grabbed me. He saved me. He saved my life. And I said to myself, because as a child, he was always there for me. He was an orphan. He married my grandmother, who was an orphan. And during the wartime, what he did from his heart, and that's why I want to be one example of him, is he would go out of his way to provide food and shelter and clothes for the children. And so when he passed away in 2012, I went to this whole spiritual awakening journey where I was experiencing depression, anger. I was going through my teen years, comparison, envy, all those emotions that we experience, and anger and frustration, and I didn't understand why. And in one night, like I was praying, I hated God so much that I didn't want to, like, I was so angry because he took him away. And in one night, like I was just looking around and searching for the answers, and I want to know, why am I here? What am I supposed to do here? What is my mission in life? Why does God take a life away? After I prayed for 2 nights straight, asking God, please, God, don't take him away. And after that, I just went through a really bad time in my life. And I started studying the mind. I came across a book called, the first book I came across, which I'm so obsessed, I'm sharing this. It's called Alejandro 16 Laws by Napoleon Hill. And I started reading it. I was like, wow, this is such a powerful information. Then I moved to the book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And in that book, I learned that at the beginning, because you have to read it first time, it doesn't make sense, because when you read it, it sounds too good to be true. It gives you the formula, it gives you the secret to success and how to achieve things in your life. And it starts with a burning desire, obsession, that you have to be convinced that what you want is already yours. And I started reading, and then I came across this Alejandro. I came across this thing called how your brain is a transmitter of frequency, how our brain transmits a frequency of energy. And then I was like, okay, well, this is the reason why most people are unhappy, because they're not aware of this powerful information. And then so it led me to study more, to learn more, to grow more. I get emotional. And that was my journey, started like that. And from there led me to try different things, to step out of my comfort zone. I learned that we lived in this world that we live in is full of lies, illusions, it's matrix. And if you want to win in life, you really have to surround yourself with the people that have the same mission, same vision as you. And so from there, I just said, you know what, I'm going to change my life. I made that decision one night. I prayed, I made a decision after I read that book. It just something like in my mind clicked. It's like, Mirsada, enough is enough. You need to do something different. You cannot be like everybody else. If you're gonna do the same things, you're gonna experience the same results. And then I said, you know what, why do my parents have to struggle? Why they have to go through this process? And I was asking myself all these weird questions. I was, like, just lost. And that it came, like, I closed my eyes, I was praying, and this voice came and says, Mirsada, this is what you're supposed to do. God gave me a vision. And from that vision on, after that, I just took inspired action, and I went after my dreams. And slowly, little by little, at beginning, it's scary, it's hard. You don't know how to do things. You want to know how, but you don't know the answers. And so it's like you're scared, you're uncomfortable, but you want to make the change. You want to change your life. And I just wanted to be that example of my grandfather, and I wanted to be that perfect daughter to provide for my family, because I see them struggle so much that I said I will find a way. I will do things differently. And I started on this journey. And after that, it's painful. It's not easy. It's a roller coaster. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's not easy, right? Everybody has knowledge. Everybody is gifted, but it's not for everybody. Not having a business or doing something out of comfort is not for everybody. But we do have specialized gifts, and you should apply those gifts into our dreams. And it led me to opportunities. Slowly, I started taking opportunities, trying different things, failing. I was failing so many times. I didn't understand why nobody wanted to support me and help me when I was really doing something good and helping from my heart and giving. And it led me to different opportunities where I tried different things. And from there, I kept failing. I said to myself, if I keep failing, I'd rather fail and be uncomfortable and fail, but I'm not in the same position, right? If I complain, and if I feel bad about myself, and if I play this victim mentality, then I'm never not going to achieve what I want, because the secret, the formula was, I'm so happy and grateful now that I already have what I want. When we pray to God, we always say, God, give me this. God, I want this. But the secret really is thanking God for what you have. So gratitude and love is the highest frequency. When you love, when you're feeling grateful for what you have, then you open your heart to
Yes.
receive. And so, Alejandro, I started with gratitude list, wrote a list of all the things I wanted to accomplish, and slowly started manifesting and accomplishing with God. Manifest a lot of those dreams. Thank you.
I tell you, I mean, you are sharing this, and you know, everything that you said, uh, I am I am very familiar with what you're saying, but I got goosebumps in myself because the way that you tell the story and the beginnings. I mean, back in Bosnia,
Mm-hmm.
and going through that difficult time, and nobody was there. I mean, to extend a hand to help, and there was one man. I tell you one thing. I mean, you talked about your grandfather, and I do believe with all of my heart that your grandfather was a great humanitarian. I
Yeah.
mean, he definitely was someone. I mean, who just in the same way that he helped you, he could have helped anybody because that was within his DNA. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just reaching out and making. I mean, and that's what true leadership is helping, is reaching out, is looking and see where there is a need, and and go and do something about it. So many leaders today, and sometimes I get sick and tired of seeing leaders that see a problem and they turn around and they go the other way, the other direction. No,
Mhm.
a leader is a problem solver, is someone who reaches out and gets things done, whatever it is. And I think that your granddad was a great leader because he displayed that quality. And as you kept on sharing, I am so familiar, I mean, with Napoleon Hill and
Yes.
the law of attraction, and whatever the mind of man can think and believe, it can achieve, isn't it? And and then as you were also describing your situation, what came into my mind, the picture, the illustration that came into my mind, um,
Mm-hmm.
it was the Mr. Barnes, in Think and Grow Rich, Mr. Barnes,
Yes.
that got on a freight train because he had a desire to become not an employee of Mr. Edison, the great inventor, but he wanted to get into a partnership
That's
with Edison. And I mean, one thing that strikes me every time, and I'm reading Think and Grow Rich again. I read it before, but I am rereading it again from the beginning. And
mm-hmm.
one of the things that strikes me is that when he stood in front of Edison in his laboratory, then Edison looked at Barnes, and then he recalls the story and says, "You see, he looked like a tramp. I mean, that he looked like someone who came from a hole somewhere, from a cave. He looked like a tramp, perhaps disheveled and dirty, and perhaps, I mean, I don't know whether he had a shower or a bath, and so that's how he looked. But Edison said, but I could see that there was something different in this man.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that he came because he wanted something so bad that he if give I mean, when given the opportunity, he is going to get it. Nothing in the world is going to stop this man from achieving what he wanted to achieve. And that is what I do believe your story. You are the female version of Mr. Barnes.
Yes, it's
and so
Alejandro. Alejandro, sorry
yes.
for. it's obsession, because most of us people, we're stuck in this comfort zone. We're stuck in this matrix. We're not aware how powerful we are, how we have the gift that all along with what we're seeking for, the answers that we're searching outside, it's within. And when you have that burning obsession that becomes a desire, that's something that you cannot stop thinking, dreaming, that you know that's the gift, that's the desire that God is sending you, that you need to take that action. And so that's for me when I learned that Thomas Edison, like when he had the conviction, this is what I want, and I'm going to be partnership with him. He was so convinced that nothing or no one can stop him, not even any beliefs, not any negative naysayers. He was convinced this is what he wants, and he got it.
That's right. That's right. And he actually, I mean, he actually got it, and he was very successful at it. And but I mean, that is a great, I mean, that is a great story. And so you are definitely, I mean, a coach in the law of attraction. Now let me ask you a question, talking about the law of attraction. um
Yes.
I don't know whether you saw, whether you watched the movie or not, but what did you think about The Secret?
I want to be honest. The Secret by Rhonda Burns, I read it. And so most people, when they try to apply this information, they think, oh, I'm going to visualize, I'm going to write what I want, I'm going to visualize, and boom, the magic genie is going to appear. But without law of attraction, which means you can visualize and meditate and pray and script all day long. But if you don't have a mission, what you want to do, what you're clear on what you want, and you take that inspired action, because without action, there's no attraction. You cannot attract anything to you. You have to put yourself out there. You have to heal, process. You have to do so many things. That means taking that inspired action, that intuition, that nudge that you get, and it tells you, okay, you're in a shower, and all of a sudden you get this idea. That's when you take that action. That means as long as you take that action, you're in alignment. Then the next step and the next resource will be aligned for you. It's about
Yeah.
understanding that law of attraction is nothing more than it won't work if you think, oh, I'm going to just visualize, take a picture of it, put on a vision board, and the next morning it's mine. It has to work.
Yeah.
Everybody gets tested. Everybody goes through the process of attracting the
Yeah.
certain things that have to happen in your life to attract it. But you have to understand, without action, there's no law of attraction.
Yes. Let me just stop you right there because I just want to say hello, I mean, to Gordon Melville. I mean, look at what he said. He says, two total awesome sauce powerhouses. That's his favorite. You know, that's his favorite. I mean, word, awesome sauce. I mean, we are two awesome sauce powerhouses. And he says, love you both. And Gordon, I mean, you are, I mean, by the way, I mean, did you have a virtual coffee with Gordon Melville?
Alejandro, I did, and with this guy, I connected. Like it's like I feel like I know him for such a long period of time. We spoke more than we had like so much in common. He's doing some amazing things, and I told him about the course that like I didn't know how, but I'm in process to create a course to help people with depression and suicidal. And I spoke because thanks to Daniel Gomez, who saw something in me, gave me an opportunity of a lifetime. I became a motivational speaker, and from there it led me to a guy who was listening to me speak, and he fell in love with my story, that he came all the way from Washington DC to help me establish this course. And I was sharing this with Gordon Melville, and he is just so amazing. He's like, Mirsada, if you need anything, I'm here for you. I'm here to support you. So I know that God is aligning the people, the resources. So I'm excited and just ready for the new chapter to see what God does next.
Excellent, excellent. And then there's another Facebook user. I don't know who you are. If you're still watching it says, hello, Alejandro J. Tornato and Mirsada Memic. So I cannot tell you who that is because I don't know who that is, but thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Let's continue. You know, I was before, you know, I have behind me, I have statements that I just love, and I connect with these statements, you know. And there is one by Tony Robbins, and he says, the path to success is to take massive, determined action. And that's what it is. And that's what you said. Without action, there is no attraction. And that's what, and I think that that's where most people, they fall short, is that they think that just by thinking, and it starts with a thought, it starts with thinking, but then you begin taking action. Is one step at a time. What is I remember one of my mentors, I mean, Paul Martinelli, used to say on this topic. I mean, he was also a human potential mindset kind of a guy, limiting beliefs, or trashing limiting beliefs. I mean, crushing them, and he used to say, when you begin taking action on any idea, because the first thing that he said is this, because people would ask him, and he says, hey, Paul, would any idea work? Would my idea work? Because I think that my idea is silly. I mean, it's a stupid idea. And the answer that I heard Paul over and over and over and over again is this: any idea will work. You just have to begin taking steps to and it's not that you have to think of step number 500. No. Just take the first step, whatever it is. I mean, let's say that you have an idea, and I'm going to put something, I mean, perhaps simple. You have an idea of writing this book on this topic, okay? Well, what is the first step that you can take? Nothing out of the ordinary. Sit down for half an hour or an hour and begin writing. Get a pen and a paper and begin jotting down ideas that you have on that topic, on the book that you want to write. Do you have to write all the book? No. Do you have to even write a paragraph? No. Just write a few sentences, but begin moving in the direction that would take you to accomplish that. And I always heard that, yes, any idea, it doesn't have to be the good or the perfect idea. Any idea would work as long as you start taking steps in the direction to begin getting it done. And now,
Exactly.
what do you think about that thought?
I think it was Earl Nightingale, if I'm not correct, but he said success is a progressive realization of a worthy idea. Any person
Yes.
that knows what they want and where they're going, they're considered successful. A mother that has kids and that is taking care of the kids, it's already a success. Success is different to everybody else, but it's an idea that gets implanted in the mind and in the heart. And with that idea, and that if you understand how powerful your mind is, and you understand that thoughts, they create emotions, they stir frequencies, and that whatever we speak, we're prophetizing our future, and this is the future we're going to have. So when we understand that any idea that we take action on, as long as we take the inspired action, we do it, the resources, the things that we need, it will be aligned. Success, you're considered successful, because most people, they wait till the end, or until they reach the destination to be successful. But you're successful now, you're grateful now, you are happy now, you're like everything that you already have it now. And so the thing is, most people, we want this success instantly, get an instant gratification, but it doesn't work that way. Even I had to understand through my process, there's something powerful in delayed gratification. When we delay it and when we build a foundation and we work on ourselves and we heal ourselves, then we have that strong foundation. And I think success is a progressive realization of what idea. 100% believe
Yeah.
it.
Yes, it is. Um, what talk to me a little bit about um, limiting beliefs, and
Oh,
talk to me about, um, did at any point in your journey, um, what were some of the limiting or the limitations that you have? Because um, I think that both of us, I mean, we agreed in the fact that um, we are our worst enemies when it comes to limitations. I mean, limitations don't come from outside. Limitations come from the inside out. I mean, we create our own limitations. We don't need anybody to bring us limitations. We can do that pretty well ourselves, limiting us. So, what were some of your limitations, and how did you overcome those?
Oh my God, Alejandro, there were so many because when I learned child up to age 21, we have stored this information as encyclopedia, and then we're living these limiting beliefs, paradigms, subconscious blocks, resistance, and programmings that have been passed down. And some of the beliefs that I had, because after the war and you're struggling, you don't have income and you have to provide for your family, and you have this. My father, he had the scarcity mindset that it's hard to make money, that you have to work hard, that you have to pretty much kill yourself to make a dollar, because that was the mindset that's been passed down generation to generation, that's been passed down from his father to to the generation. And so I was the first child born. So that's the belief that who you spend your time with is so important. The energy who you spend your time with, that's the people the close to you, that you pick up their emotions, their beliefs, their paradigms. And so when I got older, like I was building and growing and failing and failing many times, failing to manifest these dreams. Right? There was this belief, limiting beliefs, that I'm not good enough, that I'm not smart enough, that I'm not beautiful enough, that all these limiting beliefs, like that money is hard to make, that money is root of all evil. And then I understood that when I started hanging around people who have the life that I wanted to live, like Daniel Gomez, who I connected with, and some of these very powerful people, I understood that it was just a mindset, in the aspect of these are just beliefs that have been passed down, but there's not my beliefs. And so I started learning about hypnotherapy and how to heal and process emotions. And one of the sessions I did was I did a hypnotherapy as a psyche session with this lady called Lee. And together I've been working on this and healing and studying this information for a long period of time, so that I don't even have a license, but I can do it, because I'm doing so much of myself. And we did a session, and there was a belief. I closed my eyes, and we went into hypno state, where theta state, where you can daydream. And there was this belief that came up, that the reason I wasn't deserving of that money, because that was the belief after the war, like the subconscious programming. And I didn't understand why. And all of a sudden, this is the truth, Alejandro. I closed my eyes, and she asked me a couple of questions. All of a sudden, this memory pops up. The mind works in images. It works in images. The mind doesn't know what is real or imagined. So every time you imagine something in the mind, it's real, because imagination is the preview of coming attraction. It's real. But as children, we can imagine and we can manifest faster. As adults, we get older, so we forget to have fun. We forgot to enjoy life. And so this belief comes to me that when I was a little girl, and I shared this, I think, on Instagram, on everywhere. My father had like a couple dollars he put on the fridge, a couple coins, and he told me not to touch it. And as a child, I took that money, I stole the money, and I went to the Swazian store and I bought myself ice cream. And here I am coming home so happy, so excited, holding the ice cream in my hand. And I see my father, he's like, grumpy face. He's like, "Did you take the money?" I said, "No." And I lied. Of course I did, but I lied. And at that moment, like, I can see that he was disappointed in me, but I didn't believe, like, I didn't understand that as a child, right? So I thought that he was mean to me. He put me in the timeout, all that stuff. But as I got older, I learned that he was just like trying to protect me, trying to teach me about respecting, trying to teach me being honest, not stealing, right? But that belief got stored in my mind that I wasn't deserving of the money. So that's why it was hard for me to manifest or attract more money until I changed the belief. And the belief now that I have is that money is just a measurement of value. How much value you give to others, how much you give, that's how much you get. And when that belief changed, God opened opportunity portals for me, because it was just a program. And most people understand that we're living, it doesn't matter what age you are, you're still living a program. Like if you're struggling with loss of wealth, with loss of health, with money problems, with different things, some of these beliefs that we're living, as I said, not our own, but we need to heal. For us to manifest, we have to heal and process. And every time we level up, there's different healings that have to take place. And I had to learn that with Daniel, because one thing I had to do was, Alejandro, I never forgave myself. Like, I didn't know how to forgive myself. And connecting to a multi-millionaire and having that conversation with him to teach me forgiveness, that I started to love myself. I started to work on myself healing. Like I started falling in love with my flaws, with everything, the way I look. And I opened. God says when you can fall in love with yourself and every flaw that has given you, then you actually open your heart to receive. Now you're happy what you have, you're grateful, and if you're grateful, God says I give you more. And so that was the belief. There were so many, Alejandro, like that wasn't deserving, that money is hard to make, that a lot of them that is hard. Everything is so hard. It's you're not capable. People are gonna make fun of you. All these things. But I just said to myself, whatever God planted in my heart, the vision, nothing's gonna stop it. I'm gonna give it a try and see what happens.
Yes, yes, definitely. So, um, before we came on online, and then even before, I mean, I went to your Facebook profile, and one of
Mhm.
the things that is just stuck out was a phrase that I love it because it just speaks about um, you and the work that you're doing. And it says this, it says, my mind is worth millions. My
Yes.
mind is worth millions. um, Now, why is it that you concentrated in the mind, my mind? I mean, what is, because so many people, and even behind me, I have a
Mhm.
statement that says, "It's not follow your mind, it's follow your heart, because it knows the way." And so, speak a little bit about what do you think about the connection between the mind and the heart? I mean, what is most important to you, or are they equally important?
For me, they're both important because whatever you feel with the heart, the quickest way to manifest desires is the feeling of gratitude by being grateful. But most people won't, and this is, I didn't understand this either. Like I wanted to be, and I wanted to achieve success, I would say, oh, I will be happy when I get it. But I'm happy now. I'm grateful
Yeah,
now. See, but the
that's
thing is,
right.
we have to train our mind into believing something. The mind doesn't know what is real or imagined. And so when I started on this journey about the mind, I found out the most problems, the penalty we're gonna live, and the penalty we get to choose. We get to create our life the way we want it to have. And God, of course, will help us on our way, but also there'll be obstacles and challenges to mold us, to shape us, to give us the strength to manifest, to be stronger. So when we actually manifest that dream, we know how to take care of it. Like you can, for example, a lot of times people, they win a lottery and they get so excited, but they have this belief that's been passed down, or the belief that it's hard to make money, and they spend the money foolishly. It's a fear that's inside them. We have fears and emotions. The driving factor of our body is our emotions, and that's what controls our reality. But when I started studying the mind and understood the penalty we must pay if we neglect this information, we're going to be experiencing depression, anger, low self-esteem, frustration, jealousy, envy, greed, because we don't understand how powerful our brain is. Our brain is a transmitter of frequency. So every time how we feel, the emotions that we produce, like the feelings are so powerful. Feeling is the secret, which I'm gonna give you one thing. Feeling is the secret. Feeling is our emotions indicate whether we are in alignment with what we want, indicate whether we
That's
are in
right.
line with our dream and mission. And so the mind is so important because if you feel defeated in your mind first, you're not going to accomplish any dreams because it's hard. Because either there's paradigms and beliefs and trauma and all these things that 80,000
Yeah,
thoughts attack. But
yeah,
everything starts in the mind. You're first defeated if you cannot achieve it and you have those negative beliefs. It starts in the mind. And so if you can
oh,
control the mind and the thoughts and understand that most of these thoughts that we're experiencing are not real, they're just programmings, and learn how
yeah.
to remove the resistance, feel the flow and let it go, then we'll experience more joy and happiness. And that's why it's think important to achieve any success or achieve anything in life. It starts in the mind and in the heart.
That's right. And you mentioned something that is extremely important. It is not just the thought, because, for instance, I um, I am a motivational speaker, but is the fact that when I have that thought, and then I just visualize myself on stages,
Mm-hmm.
is not just the thought, but it is
Mm-hmm.
how do I feel being, and you close your eyes and it says, how do I feel here when there are I don't know, 500 or 1,000 or 5,000 people in front of me, and then what is that energy, and just walking through the people, then and having a quick conversation and so forth. What are they saying? What do they expect? What am I? And when you get all those feelings and so forth, that's the power of that attraction, because is that feeling that you are in that place. Is not, well, when I get to a stage, no, 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 I am already there.
Yes. And
And what am I experiencing there? What is it? It's just a feeling of happiness and joy and connection and energy going back and forth. I mean, that's what you feel. And that's, like as you said, that's the secret.
yes,
That is
it's the
indeed the
feeling.
secret.
It's the feeling and living in the end result, which meaning, for example, you want to be a speaker, a motivational speaker. That was my dream. Once in my mind, I said I'm going to be a speaker, but then I visualized myself, traveling, visualize myself being on the stage, visualize myself, everybody congratulating me,
Right.
crying, happy. And it's the
Yeah.
feelings that you get sent out, the feelings. And then when that energy leaves your body, because we live in the three-dimensional world. Three-dimensional world is where we focus on problems, pain, on all these three-dimensional stuff that's going on, depression, news, everything has been programmed, subliminal programmings. But in the 4D dimension world, the 4D and fifth, in the 4D, you're meditating. You close your eyes and you're already thanking God. God says, if you're grateful, I'll give you more. So when you close your eyes and visualize the feelings, already having it, using the six senses, the feel, the touch, the taste, the sound, and you can create that vivid imagination, that image. Even if you cannot, you can feel the feelings of it. Then it's already done. It's already done. And the next step, you just have to trust God that the steps will be aligned, and you have to take that inspired action to do it. But it's the feelings when you can visualize the pictures and vision. It was only once in a dream in my life, but when you can feel those tears coming down and you're grateful for it now God says, I will now. He's working behind the scenes to get you exactly what
Yeah.
you've been visualizing and praying, because you've been seeing it so much that you already been living it. So when you actually receive the manifestation, you feel like you already lived it so many times that it feels amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Definitely. And is now let me ask you this. What is your perspective and insights on affirmations?
Affirmations. I think
Yeah.
affirmations is a good way to reprogram the mind. But you also have to feel the feelings of affirmations. You can just say, I am successful, I'm qualified by God, I'm loved, I'm forgiven. You actually have to feel it and look yourself in the mirror. The powerful thing is, I think Daniel Gomez told me, and it's like writing the affirmations and looking yourself in the mirror and feeling the feelings of the affirmations. And when you do that, you're reprogramming the subconscious mind. There's different ways to reprogram the mind, and the most powerful way, it's not the affirmations. The most powerful way, when you are in either theta, delta, alpha, theta state, when you are in a daydream state, theta state,
Yeah.
when you are meditative state, to reprogram when you go to bed. When you go to bed and you repeat those affirmations, it's more powerful than morning, because when you go into that theta state, you say, I am successful now. And you feel the feelings already being successful. I have this much in my bank now, and you feel the feelings of it. And then the more you can do that on repetition, because the mind works in repetition and it creates neural pathways in the brain, so you can create new results in your life by doing something that's scary, stepping out of your comfort zone, doing something on repetition to reprogram the subconscious. And the more you can feel the feelings of emotions and trust that it's already done, that you don't have to do it,
Sure.
just to trust that it's done, then it's going to be in alignment. You're going to manifest those affirmations that you're speaking about.
Yes, definitely. So what is it that you, I mean, right now, I mean, we are pretty quickly coming to um, the midpoint of this year. So what is Mirsada gearing to do for the second half of 2023? I mean, how do you want to end this year?
I as I spoke on as I spoke on it was Daniel Gomez Sticker Shock Speaking Academy. It got open so many connections and relationships that it led me to podcast, TV, radio, and all this to say how God is amazing, because I did not know the answer, but God did. What Mirsada is planning to do, I have no idea how it's gonna happen. Like I'm sharing with you guys here, and but this guy saw me from Washington D.C. and he saw how much passion I have. And on this journey, I've been alone, learning everything myself. And everything that I learned, I'm thankful to God, because He either taught me something, He gave me strength, He healed me,
Yeah.
He molded me. And one thing I'm doing, Alejandro, that I think is so amazing, I just finished this course that is going to be recorded July 5th with Alex Mason. And this is the course that's going to help people with their mindset, with feelings. It's going to teach them because 1.2 billion people, they commit suicide every day. But if they know this information, they understand how powerful the mind is, they understand the exercises, they apply this exercise in their life, then they're going to start healing themselves and loving themselves. And there will be less deaths. And God says, you save one life, you save million. And so I finished the course. Now the only last steps to be recorded, and then I will be sharing it with the world. And I would love people to support me in this, because this is something new for me, but what I'm doing is from my heart, because I truly believe how powerful this information, I know it can change someone's life.
Excellent. Yes, definitely. So do you already have like a launch date? I mean, for this is this going to be like a video kind of a program? I mean that it has different sessions or different modules, and then people, I mean, can just go through that whole thing by themselves, or are you going to do a combination of they go through the videos and then you are going to perhaps, I mean, whoever goes into, I mean, and does the program, are you going to do some mentoring or coaching as well, or no?
Yes. So the first step, I'm so excited, that's already being done. The guy is coming from Washington, D.C. to finish the final touches July 5th, where I will be recorded for the last episodes. And the people will get to watch the episode. They'll have the exercises to do. And then we'll do the coaching where they can connect with me, 3 months coaching where I can teach them and train them and help them. And also there's an app called Owl, which I've been getting some amazing, God takes the credit, amazing feedback, as I've been teaching people and giving them information. Even without
What is the app? What
called
is the app?
It's called Owl, and it's amazing
Owl,
because
like the creature, like the bird.
yes, it's
Owl.
called Alejandro. It's amazing. I even told Daniel to sign up on it, because you're meeting with all the people, millionaires, billionaires, people that have the life that you want to have. You're meeting with coaches, with hypnotherapists. There's all kinds of people there, and you get to help others and they get to help you. So yeah, it's pretty amazing app, which God has been open that opportunity where I speak and I help and I teach them what I've gone through, all 12 years of learning and training and growing. Um, there's some amazing testimonials, and then also manifest the speaking career, Alejandro. So now I've been invited to speak at different events, and so I'm excited to see what God does next.
Excellent, excellent. That's I mean, that's fantastic. That's and this is exactly, I mean, what you want to do and what you wanted to do, and just helping people, adding value to people, um, and I mean, we are also so very happy. I am very happy because in the Connected Leaders Academy, I mean, we are doing a mastermind on Mondays, and you are one of the members of that group, and even, I mean, in Think and Grow Rich, I mean, Napoleon Hill talks about the power of the mastermind. I mean, what is it? I mean, the concept of a mastermind is not something that Raul Marin and I concocted, I mean, and says, okay, I mean, we're going to do, no, no, no. I mean, that's a very old concept, and it's very powerful, because when you're going through a mastermind, is not the facilitators that set the and get people. I mean, this is just people sharing with other people in the mastermind. I mean, that's what the real power is being shown and displayed, is listening to people's feedbacks and comments and personal stories, and that's where the power is, and we can help one another. I mean, to get even higher in our personal journeys. And so I'm so thankful that you are part of that group. So let's in the time that we have left, I mean, let's talk a little bit about self-love. And what was it very difficult for you at the beginning, to just because of what you shared already? um, I can imagine that it wasn't easy. I mean, to love yourself. I mean, uh, uh, did you do some exercises, like, I mean, for instance, mirror work? I mean, standing in front of a mirror and then just saying, Mirsada, I love you. I love you the way you are. You don't need to do anything. I love you. You are great. And so, I mean, did you do that kind of work? Was it hard at the beginning?
At beginning, it's hard because as a teen, you go through um, area. You go through some changes, right? And then you go
Yeah,
through comparison, comparing yourself. You go through judging yourself,
yeah,
hating your body, hating why I have this from my father, or something, right? But it's hard at beginning because that's what we go through. And then social media plays a huge part too. You know, and so it was hard. And I read this thing that it was Louise Hay. She talked about how
oh yes, of course. I'm beginning to think that you are my sister from another mother.
there's so
And
much.
don't tell me that you used to read and follow Dr. Wayne Dyer as
I
well.
love I love him. He talks about that I am, and then I started reading I am that I am, that we are here to create, that we're God's creation, here to create our life, that every time we speak the words I am, that we're prophetizing our future. He talks about how I am that I am describes the word Elohim. So whatever you attach to I am, your creation. So that's how powerful God is. So you cannot lower yourself. And then I said to myself, if I'm this powerful in God's creation and I'm here to love, like I started loving myself more. Self healing is something that Louise Hay taught me to love myself. She talked about how she healed herself. And by understanding the thoughts, that they're just thoughts, they're not real. This is not real. And so I started mirror work. I love you, Marsada. You're beautiful. You're smart. You're a queen. You're a dream. With affirmations like that, but truly like feeling the feelings. Like I even tell myself I'm a queen. And it works, your mind starts believing in things. Like the more you do it on repetition, the more you start loving yourself. You start falling in love with yourself, start loving your flaws. You start appreciating, and then you start forgiving yourself, and then you basically, like I did this session with Wayne Dyer where he talked about when you can close your eyes and picture that old Mirsada, that little girl Mirsada, and it's not her fault, and then tell her you love her. And I did that, like where I hug myself, and I slowly, the more you do those exercises, the more you start working on yourself, the healing, the more you start taking care of yourself. It just feels so good. Like you feel so amazing and happy. And then nothing, like you slowly you stop comparing yourself to other people, their journeys, or you start understanding that you're here, you're different, right? Everybody is special and everybody is beautiful, and that we're all king and queens, and that we're here to love one another, to support one another. We're here because we're God's creation. We're here to create. And then you're gonna die one day, right? And you're gonna go, and that's it. And this is the life that you only have one life to live. And so why not be good to myself? Why not take care of myself? Why not spoil myself? And when I started slowly doing that and loving myself, because I went through a really low self-esteem, I think I was picked on because I was so skinny, and now I'm not skinny anymore. But it's like it's just a belief. And the more I started loving myself and taking care of myself and doing Louise Hay affirmations, and then I started studying Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer is my favorite. He died, God rest his soul, but he's very powerful. He talks about
Yeah.
how he lost some keys. And he said, why am I going to dwell and focus? And he went outside of the house to look for the keys. And then it just gave me the idea. Why am I going to focus and dwell on something that is not working, or feel sad about myself, or play this victim mentality, when I can get to choose to feel joy? I get to choose how I want to create my life. And that's when I stepped into it and I said, I love myself, and started working more on myself.
Yes, I mean, I when I started my journey into motivational speaking, I used to be glued, I mean, to public television, because I watched every special that Wayne Dyer did. I mean, I watched Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. I mean, excellent. And a few, I mean, the power of I can't remember, I mean, but it talks about our connection to source, I mean, our
Yes.
connection to source, whatever it is. And then once we have that connection, then we, I mean, we are created in that image, in the image of our creator. And we are limitless in the way that we can create things, and we can manifest things, and we can live our lives with no limitations whatsoever. And um, and so so I would imagine that you got a lot of books, I mean, from Hay House.
Yes. Under, it's so funny. I love your energy. I just love you from the first day. But yes, we have a lot in common. I read Bob Proctor. I read Earl Nightingale, Napoleon Hill, The
Yeah,
Power of Believing, The Magic of Believing. I read tons of books. I could be a doctor. But the one thing I want
yeah,
to share you about Wayne Dyer, and the book is called The Power of I Am. And then this is what I wanted to share with the world. The power of I am. I am that I am. You're attaching the words, and every time you attach negative things, that's what you're going to be in life.
yeah.
Every time you touch the positive things, you're changing the program. You're gonna be those things. And I'll tell you why. Because you cannot depend on your own ability. You must trust God in His ability. Because He's I am that I am. And so every time you trust God in His ability, you're not gonna be frustrated, you're not gonna be angry, you're not gonna be feel moody, all those emotions. And that's why you're gonna be more happy. But there's a story in Europe, and it's a true story, Alejandro, about this mother who had three sons, and she would say, "This is gonna be my lawyer, police officer, and doctor." And whatever she had said at young age that they're going to be, that's what they became. So it's so powerful to understand the power of I am, that you're here to create, you're here to enjoy life, you're here to have fun, you're here to live your life. You're not here to struggle and work hard. And yes, you can have a job and work, but that doesn't, you still have time for yourself. You still can do things that make you happy, that bring you joy, and you can definitely follow your dreams. You don't want to live in this matrix where people tell you the only way you're going to be successful is that you have to work hard. You have to work hard. Well, most of your life is going to go pass away, and then when you die and you look at what have I accomplished, what have I done, you're going to feel sad because a lady told me, and I went to my grandmother after my grandfather passed away, God rest his soul. I met this lady, an old lady, and she came out and she always wants to speak to my grandmother because she speaks Bosnian, but she loves her cooking. So she came out because she doesn't have her family that comes to visit her. She came out with this beautiful album, and she was showing me that she was a beauty pageant, that she might accomplish all these things. And then she told me, Mirsada, if you want to have things in life, you gotta do everything opposite of what people are doing. You want to be successful, do everything opposite. And that's when I took that lady's advice as well, and I started doing everything opposite, and my life changed forever.
Yeah, yes. What a great piece of advice. Um, uh, I um, I remember reading a book um, I can't remember, I mean, the author's name, but it's called, the book is called The Purple Cow. The Purple Cow. And the whole idea is that, you know, when you go to a field and it's full of cows, it's full of brown cows, you know, hundreds, perhaps thousands of brown cows, and you see them all there. And there's no distinction between none of those cows. I mean, they look exactly the same, all of them.
Yes.
But if you put in the middle of that herd of cows, thousands, you put only one purple cow. Guess what? Your eyes, where are your eyes going to go? Where are they going to be focusing on? All the brown cows or the only one purple cow? And is the purple cow.
Yes.
And that's the way. How do we stand out in a world that is full of pretty much the same people, same humanity? Is you have to be the purple cow. You have to be the purple cow. You have to just stand out, because that's what. And I tell you one thing, the recipe, I guess, or in part, that recipe is go in the opposite direction to where the whole of humanity is going. If everybody's going that way, then guess what? Don't go that way. No, just you be different. You go that way, the opposite. And what a great piece of advice. And that's what everybody. I mean, if we start looking at people, Steve Jobs. I mean, Steve Jobs did not do what everybody else was doing. He did complete different things. That's why he stood out. I mean, Elon Musk, I mean, is he doing what everybody else is doing? No. The guy wants to get to Mars. Not everybody wants to get to Mars, but that's what he's doing, things different from everybody else. That's why he's standing out. And when we stand out, then that is the opportunity to make a difference in the world, to really influence people in the world, when we are doing things that are not common, not the commonality, but the exceptions. You know, I always say, because sometimes, I mean, when people get to know me, sometimes I do crazy things, and I said, you know, crazy is good. Now, with limits, you know. I mean, not going absolutely berserk, but you know, crazy is good, because crazy is different from the normal, and people are accustomed to a lot of normality in the world. I mean, let's create a little bit of abnormality in the world, and you see how people are going to be waking up, because I tend to believe that most people are alive, but they are asleep.
Yes.
And so I think is your duty, my duty, and everybody else, I mean, who is in this frequency, in this, is just, I think that we should be human alarm clocks. I mean, to wake people up from their sleep. Now, as we close this, Mirsada, and I tell you one thing, I mean, I guess we began this journey, but and I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity, I mean, to interact with you, and to get to know you, and to get to know your heart. Um, and as we wrap up, I mean, let me ask you a question. I mean, what does it mean to you to live a fully engaged and limitless life? What is it?
For me, everything that I'm doing, that God has given me the vision, for me is to make a difference in the world and to be a change in the world. And that means I would definitely want to take care of my family and my children. But I want, when I speak and I share my story, to help others to heal. Because leaving somebody off better when they were in the position. Because when I receive messages in the morning, hi Marsada, you made my day. Marsada, you changed my life. And they haven't even invested or uh, I get messages, oh Marsada, I met you in the park and you changed my life completely. Thank you for giving me this information. It makes me so happy because I think the world is a better place when you are example, you help others, and you leave them all feeling good. You leave them all feeling happy. I think it's something that generations and generations are gonna look when they see that you're a leader, you're inspiring others, you're motivating others, leaving them with a good feeling, understanding that they can be anything they want, that they can create their life the way they want it to be. It's understanding that there are many people, there are many, God chooses many people, gives them the responsibility, but there's only few chosen. And I think that it's waking up others and teaching them that they can be happy, that they can, it just leaves, it makes me feel happy when I see other people happy. It makes me feel happy when I see other people successful. It makes me feel happy when I see other people winning. And I want everybody to win and everybody to manifest their dreams, and everybody deserves, because there's plenty of abundance. There's plenty for everybody.
Excellent. I think that in that regard, I mean, we do think along the same lines because what I want, I mean, any interaction that I have with people, um, I always say the same thing. You know, I want people to experience what that to experience the fact that after they met me, they are better human beings.
Yeah.
You know, and after they met you, that they are better human beings. And you see, this is one of the missions of great individuals and great leaders. Is we are here to when we are born, we find the world as it is. But when we die, we want to leave the world so much better than we found it. And that's the real message. And I think that we have this kind of a short life between birth and death. We have this short life to really make a difference and to really every single day create a legacy that we can leave behind. So, Mirsada Memic, it has been. I cannot tell you the level of joy that you have brought here. The joy that I have, that I feel right now, because I was looking so much forward. I mean, to this was not, I guess, an interview. I mean, this was just a very natural conversation, and we got, certainly I got, and the people that are going to watch this, they are going to get a very good idea of who you are and what you are all about. And I think that you're all about serving, yeah, service, and making things. As you touch things, you want to leave them so much better. And that is very worthy of mentioning and bringing out. So thank you so very much. I really appreciate you, and we are going to stay connected, because I mean, we are on the same platforms, and then our journeys are crossing, and we are in proximity. So I really appreciate you. Any final word? I let you close the session.
My words is that we are capable of achieving anything that we desire to be, that we have to believe in ourselves when nobody else believes in you, when they tell you you can't do this, you're not smart enough. thing is, you're not capable, your age, you're too old. There's a lady I met, Ann Lee Master, 72 years old. She has her book, she has her podcast. I mean, doesn't matter what age you are, you can manifest your dreams. You just have to trust God and do not rely on your own abilities, and believe in yourself and work hard. And it's understanding that, like, I didn't know that I will ever speak on a stage and share from. There's a book that's coming out with co-author with Emilia Roman, and I'm so grateful for the opportunities that are happening. There's gonna be a book. My story is gonna be in books, and I hope that my story can inspire others to go after their dreams, to face their fears, not to listen to naysayers, to be uncomfortable. One thing I can tell is give hope and tell you that God, God is the one that can give you and help you manifest your dreams, but you have to spend time more learning and growing and being grateful for what we have, because God is the one, see, we have all these fingers, but something happens, you cannot move in this pinky. So it's Him who we need to spend more time with, love Him, appreciate everything, and be truly grateful what you have. When you're truly grateful, like even for the little things you have, a way will be provided. I mean, how God works is amazing. And I hated God. I'm gonna tell you guys, I hated God. I didn't think God existed. I didn't think. But now, with everything that He has manifested for me and helped me, you start believing that there's higher power. That you don't have to know the answer of how. Just do it. Just go after your dreams. And I want to say thank you, Alejandro. You have a beautiful heart. I'm happy we connected. Like when I spoke with you and I shared my stories with you, and when I couldn't, like, you are such a good person, such a good energy, such a good heart. And I think we create this Mastermind Alliance and amazing connection. And it was a pleasure being here, speaking and sharing my story, and just hoping that giving hoping that somebody that's watching this out there, that know that they're capable, they're smart, they're king, queen, and they can do anything they desire to do. I believe in them.
Excellent. And just to, I mean, to tell you that, um, I do believe in synchronicity, in attraction, in the fact that we are living in a world that is energy. I mean, and that's why we have these emotions, because we move energy with this energy in motion. And um, and we don't know, and I don't know, that who knows, perhaps out of this interaction, this connection, um, a door could open in the future. I mean, to collaborate and to do something. I mean, together. I mean, to add value to others, as a powerhouse, and as a team of two. And if that were the case, I mean, it would be absolutely. Anybody out there, just watch out and fasten your seatbelts, because it's just going to be absolutely unbelievable, incredible.
Yeah.
So, Mirsada, thank you once again. I really appreciate your being here, appreciate your time. And to all of you, if you did not watch it, watch the replay of this, because I know is not, and I always say it, is not the value of 100 ideas, but is the value of one idea that can change your life drastically. Okay, so thank you very much, and I will connect with all of you in our next episode of Conversations with Influencers 2.0. Thank you, and thank you. Have a great rest of
To
today,
everyone.
and be well. Bye bye.